The BRICS Summit in Kazan just wrapped up, but its impact is making waves around the world. If you still see BRICS as just a loose coalition of developing nations without real influence, you're making a grave mistake. In this video, we're diving into the 3 biggest takeaways from this summit, and these insights reveal why BRICS is shaping the future, and why the Western world, led by the US, might be seeing its dominance fade. Before we dive into the details, hit that subscribe button to support our channel and stay in the loop on global trends shaping tomorrow's world. First, countries in the global south are stepping up and making their voices heard on the international stage through platforms like BRICS. Just take a look at this map and you'll see why. Western media often pushes the idea that the whole world is united against Russia, but the reality is quite different. This map highlights why sanctions against Russia aren't as effective as you might think, because most countries globally aren't isolating Russia the way the West wants you to believe. In fact, the majority of nations in the global south aren't sanctioning Russia at all, and that's one big reason Russia's economy is still growing. Check out this GDP growth forecast from the IMF. Russia's economy is expected to grow by 3.6% this year, while the US is forecasted at 2.8%, less than Russia. So how is Russia's economy managing to grow despite heavy sanctions from the West? Then, if you look at the recent BRICS summit in Kazan, it becomes even clearer why Russia's economy isn't collapsing. Over 30 countries have shown interest in joining BRICS, and at this summit, 13 nations, including Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and even NATO member Turkey, have officially become BRICS partnership members. This shows that many developing countries are choosing to continue trading with Russia, regardless of US pressure. In fact, even the chief of United Nations was invited and given a speech at the summit. Secondly, 2 of the world's most populous countries, China and India, are showing signs of mending their relationship. These 2 nations have been intense rivals, even accusing each other of attempting to seize territory along their contested border, known as the Line of Actual Control. But in a surprising turn at the recent BRICS summit in Kazan, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held their first formal meeting in 5 years. During their discussion, Xi expressed a desire to strengthen communication and cooperation, while Modi emphasized that mutual trust should guide their future relations. This signals a potential thaw between these nuclear-armed neighbors who last clashed in 2020, a deadly encounter that left at least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers dead. Since then, the 2 sides have held over 20 rounds of military talks, pulling back thousands of troops and agreeing to avoid patrols in a narrow strip along their border. And on October 31st, during Diwali, a symbolic moment unfolded. Photos from the Indian Army showed soldiers from both countries exchanging handshakes and gift-wrapped sweets in the icy mountains of Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh. This friendly exchange is significant because many experts doubted that BRICS could succeed due to the rivalry between 2 of its core members. Yet today, relations between China and India are warming up, a development the US likely didn't anticipate. The US has long viewed India as a key ally in the Indo-Pacific region to counter China's influence, but improved ties between India and China could shift India's alignment away from Western interests. China and India also rely on each other economically. India is cautious about fully relying on the West and faces challenges in trade talks with countries like South Korea and Japan. Meanwhile, China sees India as an important market, especially given its own tensions with the West. With China already the world's 2nd largest economy, and India soon to become the 3rd largest, a strengthened partnership between these 2 could shift the global economic center from the US to Asia, an outcome Washington would prefer to avoid. And third, Perhaps the most significant takeaway from the BRICS Summit in Kazan is the introduction of the BRICS clearing system. BRICS has long aimed to reduce Western dominance and build a more multipolar world, and one major step in that direction is to move away from heavy reliance on the US dollar. That's where BRICS Clear comes in. Announced during the summit, BRICS Clear is a multilateral clearing system designed to settle trade between BRICS countries and even between BRICS and their partners, while bypassing the SWIFT network. The system will allow international trade using national currencies, with transactions settled through a stablecoin managed by the new development bank, the Shanghai-based BRICS Bank. But that's not all. The summit also introduced the BRICS Reinsurance Company, a vital step towards independence from Western insurance companies. Trade requires extensive insurance services covering everything from contracts to transportation, and with BRICS Reinsurance, these countries are building their own secure, independent insurance infrastructure. Together, BRICS Clear and BRICS Reinsurance could have a profound impact on global trade and the dominance of the US dollar and euro. Trade among BRICS countries and their partners, already about 40% of global trade, may skyrocket. And as BRICS reduces dependence on Western-controlled insurance and reinsurance companies, those Western firms are likely to see declining business. Top French economist Jacques Sapir has made some eye-opening predictions. By 2030, he estimates that the BRICS Clear effect could reduce the dollar's share in central bank reserves from 58% to around 35 to 40%. This shift could lead to massive sales of treasury bonds, destabilizing the US bond market and making it difficult for the US Treasury to refinance its debt. That's why many experts are comparing the Kazan summit to Bretton Woods in terms of its potential to reshape the global financial system. On top of that, the 2024 BRICS Kazan Declaration has backed a new initiative to create a BRICS grain exchange, aiming to develop a more equitable agricultural trading system. This exchange will serve as a platform for trading grain commodities among BRICS nations, with plans to expand into other agricultural sectors in the future. The expanded BRICS bloc is a major player in global agriculture, producing and consuming about 44% of the world's grain and accounting for nearly 25% of global grain exports. With countries like Brazil and Russia leading in grain production and China among the top food importers, this alliance has a substantial market at its disposal. This strong agricultural foundation positions the BRICS grain exchange to thrive, making it a significant step toward greater collaboration in food trade within the bloc. These are just some of the major changes that BRICS is pushing for, and if they succeed, we could see some serious ripples across the globe. Do you think BRICS can really create a new world order and move away from the dollar? I want to know what you think. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.